It's a privilege that no convict in India can look forward to, spending the new year with his family and friends in the comfort of his home. But the stringent prison rules seem lenient for actor Sanjay Dutt. Barely a month since his month-long parole, Sanju Baba is again tasting freedom to help his sick wife, who was in fact seen attending a party a couple of days ago. Take a look.
Sanjay Dutt managing another reprieve from Yerwada prison. The actor got a month-long parole to be by the side of his reportedly unwell wife. But here is the big catch. Manyata Dutt was caught partying the day before the reprieve. It was only in October when Dutt was out for an entire month on furlough. He was initially out on furlough for 15 days on health grounds. His plea for a fortnight-long extension was granted. It was in October itself when Dutt had reportedly sought this parole. And while the actor gets regular reprieves, his co-prisoners are not that lucky. Not even 70-year-old blast convict Zebunisa Kazi, who's ailing.
क्या बाकी जिनको सजा मिली है, बाकी जो आरोपी है, जिनको सजा मिली है, उनके परिवार के सदस्यों को कभी कोई बीमार नहीं होता, कोई हॉस्पिटल में एडमिट नहीं होता, किसी की मौत नहीं होती.
The state government too is not amused, promising a probe into Dutt's ability to repeatedly sway jail authorities.
ज्या कागदपत्रांच्या आधारे हे सर्टिफिकेट दिले त्या सगळ्यांचीच मी माहिती घेईन आणि या संदर्भातलं काही निवेदन मी विधानसभेमध्ये करीन.
The row over the parole order sparked a protest by RPI activists outside Yerwada prison, accusing prison authorities of showering undue favors on Dutt.
The small flies get caught, but the big insects just fall through. And I think this is true in this case also. I think while granting such things to a celebrity or people like that, the authorities should be doubly conscious because doubly careful.
संजय दत्त जो है वो कोई पेशावर मुजरिम नहीं है. ठीक है, वो यूँ कहा जाए कि परिस्थिति के शिकार हैं वो, और जिसकी वजह से उनको आज जेल की यातना सहनी पड़ी.
According to Zebunisa's family, despite her frail health, Kazi's parole plea was rejected in July.
Her health is deteriorating day by day. On those grounds, I had filed for parole for my mother in the month of July, and it got rejected in October.
So is celebrity status Dutt's license to freedom? Bureau Report, headlines today.
Meanwhile, Manyata Dutt's doctor claims that she is suffering from a serious heart ailment.
I don't know whether it is cancer or non-cancerous. If it is cancerous, then it is concern. Definitely a concern, because yes, there is a treatment for that also, and if it is a non-cancer, then there is no problem. We can just follow it up.
Shifting focus now to the battle for the states. Chhattisgarh saw 75% polling this election despite the threat of Maoist violence. The state will see Raman Singh, a hugely successful and popular chief minister, battle it out with Congress's Ajit Jogi. Here's a look at how the odds are stacked.
सरकार ने ट्राइबल बिल लागू किया.
6 months after the opposition Congress leadership was virtually wiped out in the state, young Chhattisgarh went to the polls. The Darbar Ghati ambush was a terrifying reminder of what the Prime Minister had called India's biggest national security threat.
खीरम घाटी का नक्सली हमला ये भी दर्शाता है कि बीजेपी की छत्तीसगढ़ की सरकार के कार्यकाल में छत्तीसगढ़ में सुरक्षा व्यवस्था कितनी खराब हो गई है. आपको उनको नहीं मारा गया.
Out of power for a decade, with the violent elimination of its state leaders, the Congress party found a desperate, if delicate, tool with which to attack the incumbent BJP government.
नंद कुमार पटेल जी छत्तीसगढ़ के चीफ मिनिस्टर बनने जा रहे थे। उनको कोई नहीं रोक सकता था, रोकने का कोई तरीका नहीं था। सिर्फ एक तरीका था कि उनको मार डालना।
Amongst the several big fights in the state of Chhattisgarh is the constituency of Dantewada, where the widow of Mahendra Karma is standing, one of the leaders killed in that massacre. Facing off with the BJP's powerful sitting MLA Bhima Mandavi now, while Devti Karma, the wife of Mahendra Karma, hopes for a sympathy wave, a sympathy factor to tide things through to see her home. She will also be hoping the 4 criminal cases against her rival see her win this very important seat. But the big question is, could the massive infighting within the Congress bring her down?
Despite the continuing threat of Naxal violence, Chhattisgarh saw record polling of nearly 75%, a powerful message. The question is, what role is the Naxal threat likely to have played in the mind of the Chhattisgarh voter?
Well, if you live in Chhattisgarh, you know that it's a constant threat. But obviously they were not frightened by it, or they wouldn't have come out in such large numbers to vote.
These people can have a sway on as much as 11 or 12 seats is is saying something. It's a very articulate symbol of what's really happening at the ground level.
To be sure, the Naxal threat tops the list of big issues occupying mind space in the state. But there are others, including corruption in coal block allocation, alleged financial malfeasance by the Raman Singh government, corruption in UPA schemes at the ground level in the state, as well as a sharp reduction in the scheduled caste quota. The prime ministerial faces of both parties raised the stakes in Chhattisgarh. But if the anti-incumbency effect applies, it isn't really visible in Chhattisgarh.
Let's now take you through Chhattisgarh. From 40 to 42, Raman Singh actually increasing the tally for the BJP. That's quite commendable given how things were looking. The Congress, 38 it was in the last elections, 38 it is this time, not being able to break through anti-incumbency. Let's now take you through what the new assembly of Chhattisgarh could look like. There was a sense that this might be tough. This is where the Congress had maximum hopes. But ORG projects 53 seats for Raman Singh, a gain of 3 actually. The Congress likely to come at 33 seats. That's a loss of 5 seats.
On Sunday, the young state will know. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
The Indian Olympic Association, a year after being suspended, finally the likes of Abhay Singh Chautala and Lalit Bhanot have nowhere to hide. Headlines Today has learned that in its meet on Sunday, the IOA will oust these men after implementing the charge sheet clause being demanded by the IOC.
The way the IOC letter is drafted, yes, you have no other option. Either accept or face derecognition. These are the 2 issues.
Narendra Batra summing up the situation for the IOA. The agenda for the suspended body in its December 8 meeting is plain. Include the clause to bar charge-framed members from holding their posts or invite a ban on India from the Olympic movement. All eyes are on Abhay Singh Chautala, Lalit Bhanot and Randhir Singh, and if they can keep their politics apart from the interests of the country and its athletes. Will Chautala and Bhanot, with criminal and corruption charges against them, throw themselves out?
The athletes' importance, that's the paramount, sir, isn't it? So the athletes' question is paramount.
Of course.
And for that, if need be, all the office bearers are ready to, for athletes' sake, they are ready to take any decision.
Including the IOC member, huh?
Including the IOC members. You think so?
Ask him first.
The IOA has so far tried its best to avoid following the IOC's directive to bar members with serious charges against them. They tried to refer these to the Ethics Commission, but with the IOC unwilling to relent, the ball is back in the IOA's court. And they cannot delay matters anymore, with IOC executive members set to decide India's fate in the 10th December meeting. Sources have confirmed to Headlines Today that the modalities have in fact been worked out, and with intense pressure on the body, the IOA will bite the bullet on Sunday by throwing out Chautala and Bhanot. Ironically, these will be the same men at the helm of the meeting who will sign on the dotted line to throw themselves out.
They will, as far as I think. They are going to amend it.
As Headlines Today had reported it first, IOA is all set to amend its constitution in its SGM on Sunday, which means they will oust Abhay Singh Chautala as well as Lalit Bhanot and announce fresh dates for its election. That means India is all set to be back in the Olympic movement. With camera person Alok Das in Delhi, this is Shumon Ray for Headlines Today.